Hi, in this video I'll give you some hopefully useful tips how to audition for and book character voice jobs for games and animation projects. If you consider yourself just a narrator, you're missing out on this big world of voice acting. In other words, putting your voice to characters in animations or in games, which can be great fun to do and lucrative as well. As for me, I have been a scary animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's.
What did you think of my act?
A bemused wizard in Simon the Sorcerer. A confused gardener with a bird's nest on his head in Merge Gardens. A cockney truck driver in Star Trucker.
A warrior's father in Exor the Rising.
Sir Ronald in Carter's 2. And so on. Now, even though I met my wife in a theatre and I've been acting the fool ever since, I've had no formal acting training. Yes, you can tell, you're probably saying. But look, don't worry too much if you're in a similar situation. You just have to give the client what they want for their specific project. They won't care if you've never performed Shakespeare at the Globe or whatever. Look, if you've made up silly voices as a kid, you still have a general sense of fun, you can mimic fairly well other people's voices, have the confidence to go outside your comfort zone a little way, well, that's all you need to start with. Now, I have great admiration for proper actors who have to appear on stage or TV sets having learnt their extensive lines and spent hours in makeup or wardrobe. Now, for us voice actors, we're not seen in our voice booths, so you could play a Viking warrior in your pajamas, an enchanted princess in a boiler suit, it doesn't matter. It's your voice that matters. Plus, us voice actors get it easy. We don't need to learn any lines. We can simply use the script on the screens in front of us. So, look, here's a 3-point plan of action for you. 1. Determine what voice styles and accents you could perform well or could learn to do. 2. Make a mixed character showreel, about 60-90 seconds top, with, say, 6 or 7 very different voice styles to show your flexibility to the casting agents. And softly mix in sound effects and appropriate music for each clip to help bring your character voices alive. It's easy to do in the multi-track section of your software. And 3, send your demo reel out to casting agents, game companies, and put you on your website as well, create new Fiverr gigs for character voices and all that kind of stuff. Then, when you get sent a specific part you're asked to audition for, you'll often get sent details of what the character looks like and what your voice should sound like for this character. Now, unless you're only allowed one audition, I strongly suggest you send the magic 3. 3 always works well in everything in life. 3 separate takes on the voice style, all very different from each other. Now, in my experience, when a client describes the voice style they're looking for and they give you a link to another character's recording in another game, that's only because they can't really describe in words how they want it sounding different. So they don't want you to impersonate that other person on that other link they've given you. Very rarely would they want that. So you may well persuade the client to go in a completely different direction. Other voice actors, if they're auditioning as well, will send in what's asked for quite often. They'll just try and impersonate the person on that link that the client has put down. But you can do that as well, but you will also go the extra mile, thinking outside the stereotype, suggesting a strong alternative sound. In fact, in Merge Gardens, and there's a link to an episode in the description below, my character, Richard the Gardener, was meant to have a posh and plummy voice to start with, but in the end, they chose my variation with a scatty and confused personality.
What? Now listen, you've got to understand, you possess a unique gift.
What? Let go of me!
Oh, look, just look at them.
And they love this because Richard was meant to be sort of a side character to begin with and ends up as the most important one in the whole game. If you're into Merge Gardens, you'll know that. Now, when you get a job, almost certainly they'll ask for a directed session in your home studio or at an external professional studio, as you probably won't have much of a clue how each of the individual lines need to sound if you're reacting to someone else, another actor who you'll never meet, you may never talk to them, and they may already be recorded or is to be recorded. but the client or producer or director will need to guide through the emotions and intonation for each of your lines so it matches with the other actor. And there may be hundreds of lines. I mean, hundreds. Star Trekker took hours and hours and hours. Some poor person has to divide up into separate files for the game system at their end. You don't have to do that. Not often. The best way to tackle these voiceover actor sessions is to give what's known as an ABC for each line. So 3 variations, see, the magic 3 again, you'd guess from the information you've been given about the scene and what the character is doing, all right?
Oh, and when you see sour candy, tell her she owes me one. Oh, and when you see sour candy, tell her she owes me one. Oh, and when you see sour candy, tell her she owes me one.
Then after your ABC, you'd wait for the director to say, yeah, great, next one. And so basically they're happy that one of those at least would have fitted in exactly with what they wanted. Or they'd ask you for retakes that'll match what is required by giving you directions such as sound a little bit more sincere or insincere, or, sound a bit vague, or put more emphasis on a word, or all that kind of stuff that directors tell you. Look, I hope you found these tips useful. At voiceovermasterclass.com, please go there because I've got a whole course on voice acting and how to get started in great detail about how to change your voice, create characters, make show reels, how to get that work, and how to have great fun in the world of voice acting. So please check out that course and get your voice on video games and animations. That's voiceovermasterclass.com.